Good afternoon. Welcome to our first installment of our spring session of Tiger Connect, which is our series designed for parents and for community members to ensure that you feel more educated and more connected to what is happening in your child's school. We have with us a very capable team, our curriculum and instruction team, Miss Tangela Rayburn, Miss Malika McNair, and Dr. Will Davenport. They're going to begin with our very first session that focuses on the technology experience for the parent as well as the child in Hattiesburg Public School District. We invite you to join us each Tuesday at 12 p.m. live via Zoom and at 6 p.m. if you're not available at 12 to view it on our YouTube HPSD Communications channel. And again, that's every Tuesday live via Zoom. And then we have the video recording released at 6 p.m. on our HPSD communications channel. Again, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of this learning experience. Feel free to ask any questions if you may have any, or email us afterwards, because that is what we're here for, to make sure that our parents have the resources and the information that you need. Ms. Rayburn?
Again, thank you so much for joining us with our HPSD Tiger Connect this Tuesday, March the 2nd, 2021, which will be presented by our Hattiesburg Public School District Curriculum and Instruction Department. As always, we start with our HPSD mission and vision. Our mission for the Hattiesburg Public School District is to educate all students to become productive citizens of a dynamic global community. Our vision in the Hattiesburg Public School District is a model teaching and learning community that graduates productive and caring citizens who are prepared to succeed. In the Hattiesburg Public School District, we have 4 goals, which are academic success, making sure that all students are proficient and or showing growth in all academic areas. Number 2, our community support and engagement, making sure that we foster those community partnerships that support our student achievement and school success. Number 3, safe and orderly schools, making sure that we maintain a positive learning environment. And number 4, physical accountability, maintain sound physical practices. Today, our agenda will follow HPSD instructional programs overview, HPSD instructional programs logins, community communication tools, at-home equipment supports, and question and answer session. We're going to start with our HPSD online instructional programs that are iReady, Edgenuity, Study Island, and Algebra Nation. Study Island is one of our first online platform. It provides students with science online practice, assessments, and games aligned to state-specific science standards. This online resource is designed to support and monitor mastery of state standards in science. It is provided for our 5th, 7th, and 8th grade students. Our student login for Study Island, the student will log on to the website clever.com. They will then sign in with their student email and password, and then select the Study Island icon. If your child has any issues with logging in, you can contact Dr. Will Davenport at will.davenport@hattiesburgpsd.com. Once your child log into Study Island, they will see this welcome page. On this welcome page, to the left, you'll see My Classes, My Reports, Mississippi Programs, U.S. Programs. On this page, this is where the student will earn blue ribbons for the year. They'll have suggested topics, in progress topics, and active assignments. If you'll look to the bottom right with the active assignments, this is where you'll see assignments assigned by their teacher. Once the student log into their class, the topic which their teacher has assigned, they'll see, this is where they'll see it under topic. Once the students complete that particular topic, they'll also see their passing score. It can be found under My Best Score.
Okay, now we will discuss the Ready and iReady curriculum. The Ready curriculum is the basic curriculum that is used by our kindergarten through 8th grade students. We have Ready Reading, grades K through 8. We have Ready Math, grades K through 8. Ready Writing, 2nd through 5th grade. And we also have the online component for Ready, which is iReady, and that's for grades K through 8. To log into iReady, students will visit the clever.com website, and they will log in with their student email and password. Then they will select the iReady icon. For our kindergarten students, if with trying to log in and have trouble memorizing their username and passwords, please be sure to contact your school. But if you are having any issues accessing your child's iReady account for any grade levels, please contact Dr. Will D'Amport at will.d'Amport@hattiesburg.publicschooldistrict.com. Let's take a look at iReady at a glance. So once students log into iReady, they will see the screen that's located on your left. They will be able to choose between reading or math. Once they select their subject, they will see something that looks like the screen on the right, in which this is an example of the math. They have a choice to complete either teacher assigned lessons, which the teacher is allowed to assign lessons to assist with a remediation or either for enrichment, or they will have the opportunity to work their learning paths. The learning paths are generated after each diagnostic assessment that is given 3 times a year. And the learning paths are designed specifically for students to assist with remediating on skills specifically based on that student's assessment, or to enrich on the student's assessment as well. So now we will talk about iReady diagnostic assessment student reports. Students are currently taking their end of the year diagnostic assessment. This week is the window is from it begin open Monday and it will go through March the 12th. But after all assessments are complete, parents, you should receive reports that will give you insights on how your students performed on their iReady end of the year diagnostic. So let's take a look at what those reports should look like. This first report is the diagnostic results report, and this is a comprehensive picture of the student's instructional needs, and it's based on the data from the diagnostic, and it gives specific recommendations and resources for giving additional instructions and to assist with the student's areas of need. So when you look at this chart, it gives several different areas that gives you a rundown of how your student scored. Looking at the first side, well, let's look at the middle first. Now this provides the student score. So if you look at this, this is an example of diagnostic 2, and this particular student scored a 545. So this student here is a 5th grade student. So when looking at this placement chart gives a visual representative of the student's performance on this diagnostic and their growth measures. So when we're talking about the growth measures, students have typical growth and they have stretch growth. And these growth measures are provided for each student based on their placement, and it is generated off of their very first diagnostic. So that would be the BOY diagnostics. So once students complete the BOY, iReady generates a typical growth and a stretch growth. So the typical growth is the average annual growth for students at this grade level and on this particular placement, this initial placement. Your stretch growth is the level of annual growth that puts the students who are below grade level on a path to proficiency. And also for your on and above grade level students, it gives them a level of annual growth that puts them on grade level to a path to proficiency, or either to maintain advanced proficiency levels. So when looking at this particular student here, when they took their initial diagnostic, they were not at typical growth. So the typical growth was generated saying that they needed to have scored at least a 506 to be on the path to proficiency, and a 541 to be actually on grade level. So when you're looking at the overall placement for the student, this shows the student's grade level placement for each subject domain. This is a reading report. So with the reading report, it's going to show the results for the 5 components of reading, which are phonological awareness, phonics, high frequency words, vocabulary, and comprehension, where comprehension is broken down into literature and informational text. So this tells how the students scored on these particular components on their reading assessment. So looking at this particular student, we can see that they are proficient, or they tested out of the area of phonological awareness, they tested out of the area of phonics, as well as high frequency words. It's showing that they scored a grade level 4 in vocabulary and a grade level 4 in comprehension for literature. It also shows that they are a grade level 2 for comprehension of informational text. So it gives you specifics about which areas of need that student would need additional work in. When you look at the bottom, it also gives you a Lexile level or Lexile range. With the Lexile range, it measures the student's reading ability, and it also indicates the level of text that would be easy to more challenging, but readable for students. So this provides the Lexile range. When you look at the bottom of this particular report, it breaks down those same components of reading, but it gives you a scale score as well. At the top, it did not provide a scale score, it provided a grade level. But at the bottom, it will give you a scale score. And this is great information for teachers, because then they can look further into providing those specific additional instructional things for students to be successful. So this again is the diagnostic results report. Our next report is the diagnostic growth report. And this report shows how much progress a student has made toward their typical growth, their stretch growth, and grade level proficiency. But what it does, it compares students' diagnostic to each other. So if they have taken diagnostic 1 and diagnostic 2, it will show you a comparison in how that student has performed. So when looking at this particular report, it says progress to annual typical growth. So this shows the amount of progress a student has made towards their annual typical growth on their recent diagnostic. And it also gives the annual stretch growth. So it shows how a student have performed based on their stretch growth. So once again, this percentage is generated from their initial diagnostic, their BOY diagnostic. So in looking at this particular student, on their initial diagnostic, they scored a 480, which was below grade level. In order to reach typical growth, they had to have a 506. So if you look at the progress to annual typical growth, the student actually exceeded the 506. So they had a 200, they're at 250%. So when looking at the stretch growth, the student also have exceeded that number, because this particular student made a gain of 65 scale scores. So they went from grade level 2 to grade level 4. So this report just gives you a visual of the comparison between one diagnostic to the next. And so these are 2 reports that you may see from your school that will give you information on how your student has scored on their diagnostic assessments. Okay, Dr. Will, take it away.
Yes, Edgenuity is another platform that we use for 6 through 12. It actually has full classes in all of the core subject areas, as well as in the CTE level courses. In order for students to log in, they will simply go to edgenuity.com and put in their student email address, which is their first name dot last name at HPSD students. And then they will use their IMSS number as their password. If for any reason you are having any issues at home, please send me an email at will.dmport@hattiesburgpsd.com, and I will address the issue. And when students log in, what you're looking at is a card, which, you know, if you've had experience with Google Classroom, which we had, you would see that these look very similar. Once the student logs in, they'll see the name of their course. Then they're going to click on the next activity, and it will actually kick them into the class. We also have at the secondary level available to students is Algebra Nation. Now they've also changed their name to Math Nation, which they have math work from 6 and above. And students will just go to algebranation.com. They're going to find Hattiesburg High School there, or STEAM or Burger. and then they will actually log in with their Google information as they would other sites like Clever as well, and then it will kick them in. Algebra Nation as a glance, or Math Nation, once students are in, you're going to see the PDF. Then you will see the different various units and topics that are available. They also have what is called check for yourself, right? So let's say they're doing unit 1. They're going to click that box that you see right there, and then they will be given a series of 3 to 5 questions. And once they answer those questions and they're done, it'll actually give them sort of a breakdown of what did they get correct and what they did not. So the communication tools that we are using, and as well as for part of instruction, we have our Gmail account, which is firstname.lastname@hpsdstudents.com. That is the typical naming convention. That email will change if students have the same name as another student, and then they will be given firstname.lastname1@hpsdstudents.com. Or if a student has 2 last names, names will get cut off because the email address can only be so long. But if your child has forgotten, or you need the specific email address for a student, please reach out to me again, and I will get you that information. Now, to log into the email account, if they are on a device not given to them by the district, or if they're on a device that is not a Chromebook, they're going to go to mail.google.com. Again, their email address is firstname.lastname@hpsdstudents.com, and their password is going to be their MSIS number. Now, if they have a Chromebook, they will sign into that Chromebook using those same credentials, firstname.lastname@hpsdstudents.com, and put in their password. Once they are logged into that Chromebook, there is an app already available for them to click on for the Gmail. Schoology is now K through 12. Now, students can get to this a couple of ways. You go into your email account, again, mail.google.com. All they have to do is sign in with their Google credentials, which is their firstname.lastname@hpsdstudents.com, and put in their password. Once they're in, they just simply type in hpsd.schoology.com. It will automatically admit them into Schoology. Another option for the students is, once they're signed into the Chromebook, there is an actual Schoology app. The icon on the Chromebook looks exactly like this slide. They just click that in, and that will put them directly into Schoology. If for any reason there are any issues and that is not allowing them to log in, again, please send me an email at will.damport@hattiesburgpsd.com. If a student will be using a phone or a tablet, they will once they go to that app, and there is an Android app, and there's also an iPad app. And once you go to the Apple Store, or you go to the store for the Google Play Store, you will download that app. Once you log in, it's going to ask you for your school site. They need to type in Hattiesburg and select Hattiesburg Public School District. Once they do that, they're going to put in their email account as their username, and then their password will be the same password they use for their email. Now, we have something for Schoology that we are rolling out for those parents who want to see what is going on in Schoology, be able to see what assignments are being handed out, assigned, as well as what their students are actually doing. You will go to Schoology.com. You're going to click on the parent option, and then it is going to ask you for an access code, as you see this right here. You can get that access code from your son or daughter's teacher. Once you put in that first code, it is going, you can click continue. And then what it will do is prompt you then to finish filling out an account. So they're going to ask for an email address and a password that you want to use. And then it will again kick you into Schoology. And whatever username and password you select in this process will be the username and password you will use to get inside of Schoology. Once you're logged in, you're able to then click on your child's name and then go to the classroom and see what instruction again has been assigned and see the work that they're actually doing. We are using Zoom to deliver virtual direct instruction. Each classroom teacher has been instructed in their Schoology to put their Zoom link. So once you, as a parent, have your child log in, you'll be able to see that link. Students cannot create a Zoom account, and you as a parent don't need to create a Zoom account for your child to gain access to the instruction. All they simply have to do is click on the link that's in the class and they'll automatically be pulled in. Okay, well, here are our a review of our HPSD online instructional programs. We have our email right here, mail.google.com. There is the Schoology site. This is our domain, unique to us. We have Edgenuity, iReady, Study Island, and here, this is the URL to get to Algebra Nation.
At this time, we're at the question and answer session. If anyone have any questions, this is the time that we can answer those questions. So if we do not have any questions and answers at this time, we thank you so much for joining us with Tire Connect. Again, we'll be back at 6 o'clock and also on our YouTube channel with Hattiesburg Public School District. We thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions or answers, feel free to email us at any of the emails that were provided. Again, we thank you so much, parents, for joining us at your lunch hour, and have a great afternoon.